Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VII Remake. Last time, the plate fell. Yeah. Let's go! Things only gonna get better from here, right?
Hey! Anybody out there?
There's Barrett.
I think I hear him up ahead.
Let's go!
Here goes.
And push!
Marlene. Marlene. Marlene! Marlene! Biggs! Wedge! Jesse! God damn it! God damn you! God damn you all! Marlene? Marlene?
It was us. We did this.
No. You can't think like that. Whatever came before it was Shinra that pulled the trigger today. Am I right?
Yeah.
Hold on to this anger, okay?
Barrett. Marlene's fine.
Huh?
Aerith found her.
Aerith. Is that the girl they took?
Yeah. That's her.
The hell's going on?
I asked Aerith to find Marlene and take her somewhere safe.
And she did? You sure? Hey, where you going?
Oh boy. Hold on a second, I'm pulling up my checklist here. So, in the original Final Fantasy VII, I'm going to talk about that real quick. This scene did play out very similar to what we just saw. The only difference is the gravity of the scene is different now. In the original, Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse, you only meet a handful of times. You meet them in the first bombing run. You meet them at meet them at Seventh Heaven, and then sporadically throughout levels to give you little filler stuff. In this game, they actually gave us time to know them as individual characters. Before, they were just standard tech girl, the backup support, comic relief fat guy. That's generally what they were. So I love that they actually gave us a connection to the characters. It actually feels like weight of our actions have actually caught up. And that's just... From a storytelling perspective, it is fantastic. But from, actually playing it, it's like, oh, God, it hurts.
How could this happen?
Plus
I
this.
didn't really think that.
Those two soldiers, those two not mercenaries, those two enlisted, they were outside of
What do we do now?
You were hired to do. Get these people out of here.
yeah, they were outside of the slums as well, but again, they also didn't have much behind them.
Hell
They were
is
just
going on?
there. It's really cool that they actually gave them personality too. So that's a really nice
He's
dress.
okay.
I got stuck, caught up by that, but
This wasn't an accident.
it's just amazing how much more life they put into the game, into the world, I should say.
I said, where you going?
Aerith's house. It's in the Sector 5 slums,
And that's where Marlene is?
where we hope she is.
Tell me she is. Give me something to hang on to. Even if she's not, I won't blame you for it, I swear. Who am I kidding? I'd probably try to tear your head off.
Hey, Tifa, know anything about ancients?
I know I've heard of them at least.
They come up in planetology books. Meant to be the original steward to the planet. Could even commune with it, talk to it and stuff.
That must be why the Turks wanted her so badly.
Within my veins flows the blood of ancients. This planet is my birthright. You have failed again, I see. But through suffering, you will grow strong. Isn't that what you want?
Cloud?
It's nothing. Let's go.
This is another little thing I like. I'm sorry I'm stopping a lot, but I did mention I probably do this every so often. In the original Final Fantasy VII, the character Sephiroth wasn't shown until after the events of Midgar. And up to that point, he was sort of built up as this bigger-than-life character, a almost mythological entity that existed before the events of the game. So when we finally do meet him, it's a bit more of a impact. We just see what he has done throughout the game while we were away. In this game, I like this because it humanizes Cloud a bit more. They're treating it as sort of a PTSD hallucination that he's having. Because you have to remember, Cloud is a soldier during a time of war. That was the time when he was a soldier. It was during the war with Wutai, far eastern country, or western country. So it humanizes Cloud a bit more because it shows that what he did during that time still affects him, and the hallucinations of Sephiroth shows that he has a connection to Sephiroth in some way that we don't know. Now, I've played the game, I know the connection between Sephiroth, and I know all about Cloud's backstory. I ask that you don't spoil it, because I do know there are people who've never played 7 watching the videos, so please don't spoil it in the comments. That is just what they are showing us, and it's really, really nicely done in my opinion. Let's go.
It's like there's a hole in the sky.
Hey,
Chocobos are so frightened they're refusing to move.
gotcha.
Wait. Over there.
What the hell are they doing here?
Their jobs, probably. Just focus on seeing Marlene again. Nothing else.
Oh boy. Heavy.
The first thing we need to do is find a place.
Oh hey,
to take refuge.
madam.
Well, this is a fine mess.
How bad is it here?
Compared to Sector 7, we're doing fine. But that's hardly an accomplishment.
Yeah, you also have to remember that Wall Market is literally up against the wall separating the two slums.
Sector 7's pretty...
So when that plate fell down, Wall
You guys
Market
run into
felt
Jesse
it.
at the pillar?
Yeah, Biggs too. They were both in pretty bad shape.
Damn it, let me through!
But Wedge wasn't up there with them. He got out.
All right.
Sorry about that. Little hiccup. I guess I should have waited another 12 minutes before recording. Oh well, that wasn't a big one, so I don't feel bad about if I forget to edit that out. Well, it won't feel too bad, I should say.
Come on now. There's no need to be afraid.
I've been thinking, y'all. We gotta go find the others.
Huh?
If we don't look for them, who will?
Right.
Hey, Cloud. Gonna need your help with it, too.
Right.
Let's go. Again, I'm also glad they give Barrett a bit more emotion as well. During this point in the game, in the original, he was just kind of one note. You don't really learn. He doesn't really change until later in the game. So I'm glad they gave this. Like, we learn more about Barrett's backstory, like how he got the gun arm. And yes, that actually is his arm. You can tell right there. It was severed off at the about the midpoint of the forearm. And we'll learn about that later on, probably in another game.
The plate. It's really gone. I thought it was a joke.
That was a joke? How's that a joke?
My ears are still ringing from it.
I bet all of Midgar heard the fall. 'Cause that's a heavy
This
piece
is
of metal.
75, right? So where's this place you said Marlene is?
Where I think she is. It's a house on the other side of town.
Well, come on then. Pick up the pace.
I'm working on
going
it.
as fast as you are.
Actually, I'm going faster. Oh boy. Let's see. It was Chudley.
Cloud, I'm glad to see that you're okay. In these trying
Chadley.
times, I hope to develop new materia to help us endure.
All right. Buy one of these.
Cloud, I've come up with the most fascinating theory.
All right. So what we got? I got one of them done nice. Two of them done nice. Hey everyone. Sorry about the sudden abrupt cut off a few seconds ago. Had a visitor, so. Anyway. We just got done talking to Chadley. He actually has something to give him.
That I'm grateful for all of your help thus far.
More monster bio information.
I've done it. I've developed a new materia.
So the materia he's made us is called the enemy skill materia. Excuse me. This is actually a really useful materia because it is a blue mage ability. This is where you learn the abilities of an enemy and use it against them. Now, in the original game, you would get it probably about this time too. Actually, not about this time. You get it a little bit after this point. But in the original game, this was a bit more of a tricky materia to master. That's because there are some monsters that will only ever use the ability once, and then the game will glitch and not use it again. What I'm referring to is an ability called Pandora's Box. There was only 2 enemies in the entire game that would use it, and once it was used by either of them, the game would register it as being used and would never ever again use it in that save file. So it was kind of a tricky materia to master. There's another one that could only be used by an optional boss or the final boss, so that was fun to get to. And there were 4 enemy skill materias in the entire game. In this game, it's still just the one, and you can still learn some abilities. I believe, if memory serves, you can learn about 8, I think? One of which you can't get until a New Game Plus. The only way to get the ability is by having it cast on you. So it's a pretty good thing to have.
I look forward to receiving all of your future back.
Alright, so the other ones we got were defeat monster variants, mastered all 12 types of magic materia, which I mentioned earlier. And I still gotta do this, which I can do by fighting the fat chocobo. So pretty simple to do. Oop. I'll allocate the materials off screen, because we're gonna have a bit of a cutscene. This set's mostly gonna be cutscenes.
You feel that quake?
This is the school, the Leaf House.
My heart is still pounding.
Alright, let's keep going. Marlene! Run. Also, this is Chapter 13. We can get another weapon for Barrett in the Evergreen Park. And a weapon for Tifa, which we'll do as a sub-boss. Or a hidden boss. Not hidden boss, a side mission.
That's the house.
Marlene! Marlene!
Oh, Barrett. At least knock.
Where's Marlene? Is she here?
Barrett!
Sorry, I'm Barrett. Marlene's my little girl. Marlene, she's got short hair. She's cute as a button, with the heart of an angel. She was wearing, pink. She was wearing a pink dress today.
Upstairs.
Huh? Oh.
I said she's sleeping.
I want to see her too. Come on, let's go look in on her.
Barrett's such a good dad.
Don't wake her.
He's such a good dad.
Maybe you should join your friend upstairs.
I will. Just think there's anything special with you. There's Marlene.
Marlene, my baby. Thank God.
Shh. Shinra has my daughter now.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm the one who asked her to go get Marlene. We'd only just met, but she was so kind and helpful. I took advantage of her.
It's not your fault. It was only a matter of time before she ended up back there.
Because she's an ancient. That it?
So she told you about that. She must trust you all a great deal. Yes, Aerith is an ancient. Probably the last one living. She's not my daughter. Not by blood, I mean. If that's what you were wondering. About 15 years ago. My husband, he'd been shipped off to fight on the front lines. But then I received a letter saying he'd be home for a bit. So when the day came, I went to the station to meet him. But he didn't come. I couldn't help fearing the worst, even then. But I told myself his leave must have been postponed, that he'd been delayed. Every day I went, to wait and to pray. And that's how I met her and her mother. I thought maybe they'd run away from Wall Market, or that they were topsiders fallen on hard times. I'd seen that sort of thing a lot. Take Aerith somewhere safe. Those were her mother's dying words. My husband had been away for so long, and I was lonely. So I convinced myself the safest place for the girl was with me. It took no time at all for her to start feeling like family. She was a real chatterbox. She told me strange stories. Like how she and her mother had escaped from some sort of facility. And how she wasn't sad, because her mother had just returned to their planet.
Their planet, huh? Yeah, that sounds about right.
I didn't understand any of it at the time. When I asked if she meant one in the sky, she said no. This one, right here. I mean, what can you say to that?
Mommy, don't be sad.
That's what she said to me one day, out of the blue. So I asked her, what's wrong?
A man you really, really loved just died. His heart came a long way to say goodbye. But he couldn't stay because he had to return to the planet.
I didn't believe her, of course. And then, a few days later, I received a letter saying my husband had been killed in action. Things like that. She'd just know. It was a lot to deal with, but we were happy. And then came the knock.
Coming! No! Go away!
You know you're not just any little girl. You're a descendant of the ancients.
I had no idea what he meant, so I said, "Who are the ancients?"
They were the original stewards of the planet, whose boundless knowledge and wisdom shall guide us to the promised land. Some believe the promised land to be a myth, others an allegory of sorts. But we take the words of the scriptures at face value and believe it to be quite real. Which is why Shinra would like very much for Aerith to help us—
You're wrong! I'm not an ancient!
But Aerith, even when you're all alone, don't you hear voices whispering secrets?
No, never!
But all three of us knew that wasn't true. That man knew exactly who Aerith was, where she'd come from, and what she could do.
They knew where she was, but they didn't just take her? Doesn't sound like the Turks I know.
She had to come willingly, otherwise it wouldn't work, they said. That's why, even if they did take her away, I'm sure she's still being treated like a guest. And that they'll send her straight back home, once they get what they need.
I doubt it.
You're not planning anything, are you? Don't make things worse than they already are. If I lost her too, I don't know if I could ever. Just don't.
Cloud, maybe she's right about this. Maybe they'll let Aerith go when it's all over. Maybe we'd be better off waiting a little while.
Let's head back to Sector 7. Got things to take care of. Like checking up on the bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy. So we got a lot of backstory involving Aerith. Lovely.
The main entrance to Sector 7 is buried under rubble now. So how are we supposed to get back inside?
Underground passage in the park.
Ah, good plan.
But how do we get to the park?
I know another way to get there. Aerith showed me before.
This ancient girl knows her stuff.
That she does.
Didn't mean anything by it.
Alright.
There was this rumbling, and then all of a sudden...
Let us go to the Moogle shop, see if we get some stuff. Because it's supposed to be a weapon we can get from Barrett there. As well as the remainder of the upgrades. Where is... Oop, too far. Oh, I can't go back there yet. Dang it. Oh, that sucks. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna call it here, just so I can actually start doing stuff off screen. Just so I can get the get a few of the VR things done. Well, not a few of the VR things. Just get the 200 stagger effect done. I can get that done with Tifa pretty quickly. I just want to get that done out of the way because it's bugging the hell out of me. So we'll continue from here. Next set will probably be a little bit longer. We'll see. Hopefully I won't get interrupted halfway through again. But until next time, hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.